Good evening and welcome to another Sunday evening live with Chris FE, uh, Rebel Without a Pause, Sandy123, and Obsidian Alice. And here we are again, uh, having taken some samples of blood with some special free sauce that Mick has supplied by two donors and himself. And we're going to start off the slideshow, and I'm going to share my screen here. Let's kick that off and running, shall we? And share that. Okay, can you see this here?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so what we're looking at now is this is just the standard bloodshot on which you're looking at on the glass here from Mick, and I'm going to actually start showing. Let's get that out of the way. So as you can see, I've called it mixed blood samples.
Original.
Well, does it?
How long did that take? How long did that take?
Oh, no, I think Mick Bold Simples. I think
24 hours.
I think it's short for Mick Bold Simples. Okay, so let's kick this off and running, and I'm going to move this out of the way and bring. Oh, come on, what's happening here? Get that out of the way and bring this one across. So here we are. So this is just a standard shot of your, overview. This is something that we've seen before. There's nothing too out of the way. And again, it'll sort of come down. You've got the nice colours there. You've got the lagoon effect, as you can see there, as you've thinned it out, and obviously with the fluid that's come out, which doesn't look like anything untoward. You've still got these little parts in there. That could be contamination here. A few other bits of contamination there, perhaps. But this is nothing away from what we've seen previously. Okay, and it's not looking too bad, Mick.
That's just my pure blood.
This is your pure sample, yep. And I'll come down just to show. Again, you have these other down here at the bottom. These sort of little worrying things here, but apart from that, as you can see, it's thin right out, and it seems to be uniform all the way. And you get these little P's, which are the platelets, yeah, with the fluid, whatever that is, and that effect. So. And again, another close-up. It doesn't look any. I wouldn't be too worried about that. I'd be quite pleased with that myself. You can hear me, okay?
I'm not getting these, Chris. It's just the ones.
Okay. Right. You can't see.
Right. I can see this image now, and it's got the standard platelets on the left.
Right. So from your screen, have you clicked on my window?
Yep.
So if you speak, it's not moving off. Is that right?
Aye.
Oh, is that what you do? Well, I'll click on it.
Just click on my window.
Yeah.
At the bottom of your watch screen.
Yeah.
And
that's what I did.
Okay. Right. So when you speak, when anyone else speaks, it shouldn't move off that. Okay.
Okay.
Slightly out of focus this side because obviously there's a height difference and coming to the edge here, and it looks all nice.
Yeah, they look like wee circles, Chris.
Yeah.
The platelets. They look like they should look like.
Yeah, and again you've got a bit of clumping here, but nothing too major. It's just the way it's sort of settled. Some bits and pieces inside there. I wouldn't be too worried about that. It's yeah, it looks pretty good. I'd be happy to drink that. Or if we were the same type, have a transfusion from yourself.
There you go, anytime.
The only thing is I did find was this nasty little beggar here.
Oh.
Right. Now, I'm thinking this is contamination. Or is it, this is one end of it, okay? And I think what I do is I take a few shots of it coming into view. See that? And I'll go back again. I think it's a hair, but then it may look like the Medusa effect. And I think it was on after the sample was laid, so
Yeah.
it could be. See how it forms into that.
Mm.
So the jury's out on that, I'm afraid.
Well, if it's a hair, it's certainly not from my fucking head, that's for sure.
I was thinking that's exactly what I was thinking, but I'm glad you said it because I didn't want to bring it up.
Oh, it could have been the last. It could have been the last one you had.
Yeah.
No,
Hey, well,
no,
yes.
because Michelle's always saying you missed
You
a
swallowed
bit.
And there's the picture of it. So yeah.
Again, the platelets look okay, Chris.
Yeah, you're looking good there, mate.
Yeah, let's get off the plate. Let's have a look at this erroneous thing that's on there at the minute. Yes. Nice deviation though. I'm gonna try there, Mick. But yeah, I'd say this is debris that's come from somewhere. It's not. It certainly has a tail off effect. So you would think.
Well, the top part of it, yeah, the top part, it looks as if it's lying on top of the blood, certainly.
Yeah, and it's stopped the rest of it flowing, you see.
Yeah.
So, yeah, possibly. And it's moved as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
slightly. But, again, it's probably contamination. So, the reason why I highlighted this is simply because if this is what other people are looking at and they find that and try and say this is something, we've got something
Yeah.
which is similar, which we could, potentially say, we don't think there's anything untoward. Otherwise, if it was something, I'd expect to see more. Yeah?
Yeah, not just,
Not just a singer, there's just the only one on there. And again, looking around, a few other different colorations, you can see where you've drawn the blood around slightly. Nothing to worry about. Again, this thinner part here, as it's dried out, would have seen the same effect here with the coloration. The only thing I had worried about was these things here. I was a bit worried about these, which is in the thicker part, because they stood out like a sore thumb. And I did concentrate on these slightly, and if you care to look here, you can actually see how this is split, and it's also almost as if it's got shards of crystallized effect in it. But you see that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, I've got it now.
So
yeah,
I'm not sure. So I followed it down to here, and then the other parts as well. I'll just show you that. Yes, I did take a bigger shot of it. You see that?
yeah,
yeah. But that coloration is as that fluid is thinned out, and it's not blood; it's whatever is in the blood, isn't it? Which looks like as if it's split, as if you're pulling like wet dough apart, and as it's stretching, it's
Yeah.
So it's not a worm then?
I don't know. I'm undecided with this. This is the bottom of it. The reason why I took that shot, because I wanted to see if it had a head or something.
Yeah.
There are a few heads, like a hydra.
Yeah, and this is the other one. This is the other big part. The color on this one's different, which again it intrigued me.
Yeah.
And again, this is your pure blood as well. There's nothing in this. So now that's a crossroads section. There, see. And that's the bigger picture of it. So you can see it did stand out quite a bit. So not sure what that is. One for the record.
Yeah.
And found this thing. I think I know what this is, Mick. I'm going to tell you now. So please pay attention.
What is it? Right, I'm looking at it. Is it the right side I'm looking at, Chris?
See this square here?
Yeah.
Can you see that, Mick?
No, I can't see a thing. I'm looking at the same thing as one a minute ago.
Okay, maybe it's.
There's some kind of delay or something, Chris.
Well, you're coming
I
through.
can see it's on my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Right, I'll touch yours.
Right, I'll tell you what I'm looking at. I'm looking at that, the end of this black thing coming down for 12 o'clock.
No, we've moved forward from that.
Yeah.
No, unless is what I'm not getting anything else.
Have you got a keyboard there, Mick?
Uh-huh.
Press F5.
on my tablet with this, Chris.
Okay, all right.
So,
So
right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to go out and come back in again, Chris. Give me a minute.
okay. So it might be the fact that he's got two running and
Yeah,
he's
could be.
sharing the screen on the TV. Whilst we have a slight interlude here, I just want to give a shout out to a chap called Michael Welch, who might be watching in on the rerun of this once it's published. So, hello, Mike. He said he'll watch it when it gets uploaded. So,
Yeah.
very nice chap he is too. So there. So yeah, not without. We've been quite lucky. We don't have too many technical difficulties.
No.
He's dropped out now, thankfully. Okay, so he should come back in a second.
Right.
Hello.
Right, I'm back in. Right, so. Right now I've got a blue screen right in front of me.
Hello.
Right, Chris.
Right. Now, can everyone else see my mouse winging around this centre part?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see a thing, mate.
Right, so could you pop your head around and see what Ellen's watching? See if that's coming on the TV. You might have to take a back seat and watch the TV.
Ellen's got the same thing as me on the screen. It's your icon that we can see. Right? Now I'm seeing a blue screen. Holy shit. This happened last week and all.
Did it?
Right.
Well, do you know you've got two icons up, Mick? I wonder if it's got anything to do
Aye.
with that.
No,
Or
I
is
don't
that-
think so. No, I don't think so. I think this is something to do with the connection with the chat.
Right.
No, I'm not getting nothing, Chris, on the screen.
Okay. Let me just.
Right, I'm getting now I've got you.
Okay, let me go
Right.
to share screen. You may need to. Right. Have you got it now?
I've got you.
Right. So click on my icon down below.
I did. And I've still got you.
Click on Obsidian, Kathy's.
It's went blue.
I don't understand why Nick's getting everything except the image.
Right, Mick, you're gonna have to turn your TV off and just go back to 1.
You think?
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that, Mick. There's a conflict somewhere, I think.
Yeah.
Either that, he's gonna have to do it on the TV so Ellen can watch as well.
Yeah.
You can hear and you can listen to me. Right. Basically, you watch the screen and you listen to me. Right.
I'm just going to pause the video for a minute, recording,
Yeah.
as we get this sorted, alright? Resume. Okay, so after that brief interlude, thanks for bearing with us, people. We had some technical difficulties there, and we're back streaming live, recording, and this is the last picture we left it. So, Mick, this is something that's I saw in the blood, this square shape here.
Aye.
Not sure what it is. So, the next screen we're going to come in, I have a theory about this. And,
Okay.
as we come in closer again.
Is
Now,
it crystalline?
let me just come
Ooh.
back one let me come back one. If you look at the surrounding area, Mick, remember last time we looked at your
Aye.
blood and we were wondering if you were related to any lizards,
Aye.
right? And we had the big bulbous bit that was split in
Aye.
the middle. I think this is what's inside it.
That looks like a scroll.
So this is this is actually burst now, and I think it's stretched out.
I'm glad you've got it, not me.
That's
Looks
what-
like it looks like a Twix.
It's
Yeah.
a Twix.
You know, when you cut it in half.
What?
no, that
Got
looks
chocolate
like.
on the outside and the
What that
wafer in
looks
the
like
middle.
to me, Chris. That looks like a cut section of a tube.
Mm.
Yeah.
The left hand side's got a sharper edge than the right hand side.
Yeah, I
Mm,
mean,
it does look sliced.
If you look at that, because the blood there,
Mhm.
you've
Oh.
got this sort of crocodile, sort of lizard skin effect,
Yeah.
and it's actually penetrated through, hasn't it?
Aye, it's connected to that.
Well, yeah.
Right, so let's look at this then. That means this thing's been added to my bloodstream somehow.
Somehow, yeah.
Right, so I've not had any jags. I don't know the last time I had a vaccine at any kind, so this is what I was saying about we've been getting this stuff through our food, water and everything we eat for years.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate people who get these injections are actually kick-starting what's been lying dormant for a long time.
Yeah, possibly. That's the issue. Okay, so there's the big shot of it.
Right.
Yeah.
You look inside here. Look, I mean, I don't know what that's made of. Talk about getting stones from blood.
Let's think metal, Chris.
Yeah.
Mm.
But you see, at this scale, with the lighting and the exposure, certain elements would look different to our naked eye because we're used to seeing, looking at under normal light. So, under artificial light with magnification, you could get something that's organic that looks metal, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But we have metals in our blood anyway, don't we?
Aye.
Yeah.
We've got copper, we've got iron.
Yeah.
Mm.
That would be at a molecular level, not like a big chunk.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I'm
Oh.
just thinking if some of it congeals naturally once in a
Oh.
while.
I couldn't tell you. It's
Mm.
No, I don't think that'd be a good idea.
no, because for it to congeal, it would have to be collated and for it to collect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's a foreign substance of some kind.
I do too.
Yeah. It's an alien substance.
And
Mm.
we're back to the blood.
Yeah.
So that is. Let me get this out of the way. Oh gosh, I'm gonna get that. Let's bring it over to here. So now what I'm going to do is come on to. Going to come onto your sample now with the source.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
So I'll get rid of that. Let's bring that up here. Right, can you see that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, excellent. Right, I'll just put that down a bit to there. Okay, so this is your sample with the source. It's not looking too bad. Like we said last time, we weren't sure if it was to do with the temperatures and the things solidifying. So we'll just whiz through this.
Aye.
Nothing much to report.
Good. Glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it.
You've still got a couple of these things
Aye.
going around here. It looks a bit coronavirus-y. Look.
You just keep throwing that in.
Yeah.
I gotta keep.
I
the
know.
elements and
Every
moving.
opportunity. I fucking watch it mainstream.
Yeah.
And again, the colours are quite poignant, but you see the deeper reds, the reds,
Yeah.
and that scaling off effect as it gets thinner.
What?
No pun intended. Bad choice of words to say scale. But the interesting thing with this is that all these, as the blood's drying out, they've partitioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sorting your mic out, Mike? Mick?
I'm trying to fix something for Ellen.
Yeah, don't mind us.
Right, back in 2 minutes.
So what we there's nothing like doing it live, is there? Well, they say don't work with animals or children.
Well, I was just going to say he's got a dog, hasn't he? So
Oh right, yeah.
that's not coming into. Yeah, the gaps are wider in between, aren't they?
Yeah.
The dog
Right,
pieces.
right, I'm back.
Okay. Now sit still, please, Mick.
I wish I could.
So
So do we.
So with this sample, Mick, we're looking at the partitions again, and they seem to be more apparent in this.
Aye.
With the, with the special free source, and we've got these
Aye.
other bulbous clumps here.
Mhm.
And so this part here again is probably something under there. The way it's dried, it just looks different to
Yeah.
the first sample.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we saw this last time, didn't we? With the
Yeah.
and the way it's dried and it's separated out. And the way it looks as well, it just looks foreign now, doesn't it? It looks foreign. And this does have some sort of correlation to the next screens you're going to see very shortly,
Yeah.
if I may say so. Oh, that's me taking it. I just wanted to show the scaly skin effect again,
Oh yeah.
the escape hatch there.
Wow.
Yeah, it just looks different.
Gappers. Yeah.
So again, this is mixed blood with the special free source.
Yeah. There's no uniformity at all. Is
It just looks as if it's partitioned in a way that
Mm.
Again, we've seen this effect last time, didn't we? Like the maps.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
The stuff bulging out. Well, like we said, as an example, with a tree that is growing in the ground, if you imagine, and then if the tree leans and the roots are coming through, the earth splits, doesn't it? And it has that cracking effect in the dirt, as you see see a bulbous come up, or like on pavements, don't you? When you see
Yeah.
the tree
Yeah.
trying to burst through, or the roots. This is what this looks like. But it still looks quite healthy on the end there, Mick. It still looks, similar to the first one, albeit it's a bit thinner. A bit of clumping. And again, there's the glass itself, the edges of the fluid as they're sort of rescinding, I guess, in height. A few of these anomalies around. We saw those in my blood early on, didn't we?
That's right. Yeah.
Quite a few of these dotted about. I may have a few more. Yeah, quite a few of them. Not sure what this is here. Very spiky, isn't it? Look,
But
again, more of this stuff. Look at it. What is that?
Wow.
That's almost hexagonal shaped, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something else here. So you can see more of these things.
Before. Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird.
It is. That's going out of focus a bit. Yeah, more again. Look.
Oh wow. Quite similar size, aren't they?
They're like eggs. That's what. It's eggs.
Yeah.
That's growing out, I think, from there. See how it's split there? This satchel portion here. Stuff happening there. Crumbs.
Looks very alien.
Yeah.
It's not right, is it? So that was the
Blood and soup.
Blood and soup. So Mick, are you there? Can you hear me? Hello, Mick. Can you come in, please? You're on mute, Mick. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's on mute.
He's on mute. So, the only
Right,
thing,
okay, I'm
There we
back. Right.
Mick, the only thing I'd ask you, looking at this sample,
Right.
can you see the sample I'm looking at?
Uh-huh.
Now, did you just drop the special free sauce on there and just let it do its own thing, or did you mix it?
No, what I did was I put in probably the equivalent amount, because I put in quite a drop of blood. I put in the equivalent amount and I just mixed it all together. Because what I did to mix it was I've got no shortage of sterile needles. So I could bend a needle, sterile needle, and use the straight flat edge of it to spread out what was there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mixed it up and just left it.
Yeah, I can see
And
down here where there's some brush marks there.
Right.
But yeah, it's almost as if it's just settled in one area. It could have come back.
It did. It was actually higher in the middle, Chris.
Yeah.
So when I was looking at it, it looked as if it was in layers.
Yeah.
As it was drying.
Yeah.
And it did take me. The other sample took about maybe an hour to dry. This took about 3 hours to dry because of the thickness of it.
Okay.
So maybe it's too thick.
Well, what we can do is. Don't worry about that. Let's get rid of that. So what I can do is bring up the first.
Yep. First of the volunteers.
So the donut. So again, this is the
Oh.
first donor. So as you can
Right.
see, this is just like a backing film on the thing to roll. And that's the. I think it says donor 1 there on that.
Yep.
Or the,
Yeah.
So that's what it looks like. Nice and red.
Mhm.
Yeah. And this is taken with my phone camera. So just a sample. Okay. And I'll start the slideshow now on the actual under the microscope. And here we are. Now straight away, okay, the
Whoa.
exposure might be a little higher, but it was simply to get so you could see even with the higher exposure.
Shit, I'm getting nothing, Chris. I've got a black screen.
Okay.
That's better.
Okay.
Right.
So I've just changed the resolution slightly. Let's get that over to you a little bit. Tell me if you still have it.
What I'll go on my screen now is mostly white. It's blood, but
Can you see the image moving?
aye,
Can you see my mouse?
no yet. No, I can see it now.
Okay. So
Right.
can you see the blue?
Aye.
Alright. Now I'm just going to bring it in a bit. Look at how this stuff looks. That's what I was saying to correlating it. Now this is donor 1 with the actual special free sauce.
Through their entire bloodstream.
With the yeah.
Is it
Wow.
1 or 2, Mick? Do you know?
This is two jabs.
2 jabs. Alright, okay. Now up here we've got this blue effect. Now, I didn't focus on this one so much to start with because I wanted to get a holistic picture. I kind of keep using that word. It's the only way I can describe it. I mean, you can see the brush. Now, if I had any colorization effect with that glass under this exposure, I wouldn't get the definitive changes in colors between here. Look at this border here.
Yeah.
Right? It has to be that. There's no other reason. And for it to be randomly spotted around like this, you know?
Yeah.
That's still being green at the same thickness as this.
No, my screen's frozen again. Right, where are we? Right. Okay, carry on, Chris.
Alright, we're just going to have to carry on because
Aye,
get this done.
it don't matter.
Okay, so because I reduced the size before and you saw it, so let me reduce the size again. maybe your TV on. Oh, come on, CJ. Can you see that, Mick?
Yeah.
No?
Same, I've got the same image.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to change the image now.
Right, change it in. Smooth. Nah. Just, you know what, Chris? Carry on and I'll just sweat out.
Alright, mate, okay. Right. So this again, I'm just toning on some of the blue here. It just looks a mess up here. I take it you can still hear me, Kathy and Sandra?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And you get a scale down here. This is 200 microns.
Right.
So that's 0.2 of
Yeah.
a millimeter. That distance there, if you transfer that over to here, 0.2 of a millimeter. And as we come in closer, I'm not sure with the exposure at the moment what this border is.
Yeah.
Okay, down here, not sure what that. I'm not going to pay attention to that at the moment because the exposure. The reason why I set the exposure so high is so I could actually detect if it was anything to do. Now when I come in closer to here, but just by doing this, you can see how all these platelets are all clumped together.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Wow.
Yes. Now we'll
Yeah.
go on to that. Look, that looks a bit better, doesn't it? Now you see the green and the blue. And now you can start seeing as I start adjusting the exposure, otherwise it would all be blitzed out. You can actually see the next one again. It's closer. Now you can see how they're.
Oh.
Look at the way.
Wow.
I'm surprised
Wow.
people aren't having. They're not having more breathing problems. They look as if they're actual. What did I describe this as to somebody? I described them as deformed stacks of Pringles.
Yeah.
And if this surface area is important for the transition of air into the body, I'm not going to use the word oxygen. But
and they're stacked on top of each other, aren't they?
Yeah. So you're only going to get
so one side.
If this is 10 or 20 deep, and you only got one, that's 5% of what you should be getting.
Yep. Wow.
Wow.
So I'm
That's
not
a
sure
huge difference.
I'm not sure what the long-term effects of that, but that's just one aspect. This is just the very beginning of it.
Yeah.
So donor 1 with the 2 jabs, as Mick said. Now look at this.
Oh wow, they're like shards.
Yeah, and the reason why I say that this is a physical thing that's there, it's not a break in the blood. This is something that's underneath it or above it. Now I think this is below it because I can see this bit come out here. I've got this other bit here, so that has to be below. But if that's causing it to be blue, then the rest of this blue might have something on top of it also, which is a thinner piece of this stuff, perhaps.
Right, I'm with you, yeah.
So the next photograph actually shows it, and I give a measurement here, 17 micrometers by 35 micrometers. It's just, and there you can see that sitting there.
The hell is that?
I mean, that has got to be really sharp.
Yeah.
These bits here, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. And the other interesting to note is that on the border, it almost seems like a barrier of a construct that it's actually formed to hold all this in. It's funny how you'll see this come up time and time again. Down the edge. And this is the glass plate here, and this is fluid. And that fluid looks as if it's crystallized also. See the edges where they're quite sharp?
Yeah.
So all this stuff is going to break.
Oh.
Yeah.
Next one. And again, I showed again the difference between this and this. I'm not sure why. Why I have this difference. This is the same sample. And all down here, you've got this formation of these platelets which aren't deformed. So with these these genuine, or have these been affected, or has it been designed to do this to enable to keep all that in?
All that in, yeah,
I
yeah.
have no idea.
It's trying to do something, isn't it?
Chris,
Because it looks
Chris,
organised.
see when you look at that, the right-hand side, it looks as if the platelets are flattened.
Out of shit, yeah.
Here,
Aye, I think the ones, like the front line.
Mm.
yeah,
The whole front line seems to have the same pressure on it for the left-hand side.
yeah. And this I think, Mick, has depth to it, because look at this
Mm.
this blue
Yeah.
line here,
Aye,
where it's actually taking more of the light into it.
right. Well, actually, do you know something, Chris?
Mm.
See all the cracked ice you can see?
Yeah,
That was me.
cracked ice. Sorry, say again.
Aye.
Oh, sorry.
See what this is now, right down the right-hand side? We've got a full, it looks like a full sheet of ice on top of the blood.
Yeah, here.
Right, on
Yeah.
the blue line is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So to the right of the blue line is one sheet of glass, call it, right?
yeah.
yeah.
Now, when you looked at the previous images with the shards, I think when I was flattening out the blood on the plate, I think that's where I may have cracked it.
Okay.
So that would mean
Yeah.
these things are large plates.
Mm.
So what we
Crystal
found,
ice.
yep, in the other image, and it's only 1 atom thick. It was graphene.
I think it. Well, I would have to say it's thicker than that. Looking at that drop off there.
And it's as sharp as a razor.
But I've not finished there, Mick. You're going to see
Oh.
inside this in a minute.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
All right. So
Go
I'm
on.
just setting the scene.
As you do.
As I do.
Priming us.
I reel you in. So yeah, but no, thanks for pointing that out, Mick. That is that was a neat to say. So I'm glad you saw it.
Thank you.
And here, more stuff inside. Now, what I did start doing with this was I actually started to pick up exposure, because it did tell a slightly different story. Again, you can see all the coagulation, the way it's stacked like these deformed Pringles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And obviously change the focus somewhat. And there's some cracking there.
Yeah.
It just looks terrible, doesn't it? I wouldn't drink this, Mick. And you can just start seeing here. You might just see some faint lines there. Inside.
Well,
Can you see that? Those little faint lines?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I did notice that, and I thought, oh, I'll try and find a better example.
I'm trying to follow this. Chris, I've still got a delay.
Okay, mate, I'll just give it a couple of seconds.
That's okay.
And this is another section: blue, green, red, deeper
Yeah.
red, blue bits around. Again, I just wanted to keep, and it just looks a mess.
Doesn't it?
It just looks horrible,
Yeah.
doesn't it? All
Mm.
over,
Yeah.
you know. Could be like toffee, couldn't it? Really?
Yeah.
But when you think of molecules, you know, when they have the negative effect on them, water molecules, and they have a negative effect on them, they go all out of shape.
Yeah.
Look at the colours that are involved in this now. You look at these two bits here.
Yeah.
You think, oh, I didn't know what to do first, you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I take, yeah, that's it. So I've got some dimensions here. So we're looking at 73 microns across and 84 tall. So that is a crystalline structure, isn't it? There.
It
Yeah,
looks crystallized. Yeah. Yeah.
How many microns is a human hair?
You know, I was was going to pull that up, to be honest with you, and I think it was about 100 or so. Don't quote me. I did it years ago, but believe me, I mean you'll get this inside of human hair. It's not that they're not that fine. Probably about twice the size of that, perhaps. So you get that inside of human hair. I mean, I worked on. I did a presentation years ago regarding how many transistors they could fit end to end inside of human hair.
Yeah.
It was millions. All right. So.
Well,
Right.
That's in the nanoscale.
yeah.
But I think I'll take a closer shot of this. I'll go to sunrise. Look at the colours in that. It's crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
Come into this one here.
Wow.
Something in there. We've seen that. Actually, that affecting mine, but not, we've seen this dark blue in mine, didn't we?
Yeah.
Saw
Yeah.
that one coming out,
Mm.
but this is
That's
more
vibrant, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And again, here, look.
Wow.
The difference where you say you've actually broken some of this stuff off, Maker.
Yeah, that's what I think, Chris. I think it was a full sheet, and now as I've spread the side of the needle across the surface, I've cracked it.
Yeah, that's a good shout, Mike. Good shout indeed. Yeah.
It's definitely lying on top of the blood. You can see that without a doubt.
Yeah, that is there. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was thinking, I was thinking that I kind of look at it as it was as like shards of glass.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, if they're inside the bloodstream, they must be ripping apart all the blood vessels in your fingers, or the smaller blood vessels in the body.
But for this to lay as it has done, it had to be fluid, right?
Mm.
Inside. It's only solidified once it's out, though. Is that right? Would you say that?
No, I would think it's solidified in the body.
Would you?
I would think it'd be in the bloodstream.
Because it's only laid itself out on top of the glass, and then once you try, well, again, you would have only have done this once you dropped this.
Yes, once I got the sample. In fact, I done it right away. As soon as the sample was put on the slide, I was already had the needle in my other hand to spread it out immediately. So that's when it happened. So I don't think it's instantly solidified, Chris.
No. Okay.
Right. And well, maybe you're right. Maybe it did over time while it was drying.
I think this would have dried quicker than the blood. You know, it's just by nature of its thinness. You know.
Aye.
But definitely, that's penetrated into there, and if that was solid, it would have pushed that away. But it hasn't. Look, it's overlaid it.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it could have gone into it while it was still fluid and then settled. But anyway, press on.
Right. And again with the platelets around the edge, they're all flattened out.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way down.
Yeah, totally uniform. And that would only be totally uniform if the weight in top of them was totally uniform. So that is, like I say, they're like large sheets of glass. Now remember, we're looking at it in the microscopic level, so we would actually, we wouldn't see this with the naked eye.
No.
And this, by the way, the samples were taken from myself and from both donors, were taken from a tiny prick in the fingertip.
Yeah.
Right? So these drops, it's just one drop of blood from each donor. And this is donor 2, I take it.
That's still donor 1.
What?
This is still donor 1.
Yeah.
and that bit at the bottom, that fits together the rest of it like a jigsaw. If you sit and look at that for 5 minutes, you can actually put it back together again. So it's definitely lying, and I don't think it would have dried instantly, Chris. I don't think so. I think it's just been disturbed when I've drew a needle across the surface.
And again, with this stuff here, I'm just showing the exposure setting I've got here. It's got that glass there, and the colours.
And by the way, Chris, the platelets down the bottom right corner, if you look at them, you can use your COVID thing again, and because they look like spike proteins.
Yes. And the partitioning again effect across here is deeper. It's similar. I think I'll take a closer look at this one here. Yeah. I just think, my word.
It's shocking to think that's inside somebody's body.
In their blood, going through their organs.
Yep. Well, that's what I was thinking about, Chris, about all the athletes that are collapsing. And you can imagine the adrenaline pushing your blood through your bloodstream a lot faster. Yeah. And that's when it runs through your heart.
See, this is the thing, talking about my brother-in-law and the situation he's in, where he's swelling up literally all over.
Yeah.
It's as if he's, I mean, if you injure a part of your body, you get a build-up of fluid where the fluid is there to try to repair it.
Yeah.
But it can get a little bit accelerated. But this is all over his body, as if the entirety of his body is trying to repair from something.
So his whole body's inflamed.
Oh, dramatically.
Would that happen with 5G, Kathy?
Sorry?
Would that happen with 5G? Could there have been?
I don't know. My personal thought is that my brother-in-law has got some sort of internal injury and he's got a fluid build-up. He's usually reasonably slim. He's wearing extra large joggers because he's swollen up around the stomach. His thighs are actually filling the trousers. His ankles are swollen. He cannot bear weight. He can't grip his hand because his hands are so swollen. He can barely hold a cup. His face is swollen to the degree that his eyes are just slits. His throat is swollen enough that his voice has altered pitch.
Yeah.
He's in a bad way.
Yeah, that's serious. That.
When I was when I lived in America for a year, and we'd have the weekends free, we'd go off visiting different things, and there was one time we went to visit an old pueblo out in the desert or some area of Albuquerque, and we got back in the car. We were visiting near a little waterfall place in an old pueblo, and my left hand just ballooned up, and it looked like something from the Flubbers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the Mickey's,
And I was showing the kids, you know when you blow up a glove, those rubber gloves, it just looked like that. And I was like waving at the kids, and they were screaming, sort of thing as a parent does, And I felt
Fighting the life out the kids,
I felt fine, but it just looked awful, and I thought
what the hell caused that?
Yeah. And so I went to see it'd been a typical blurk. I just got home, had a few beers, went to bed, And it was still a bit swollen in the morning, and I went to see the nurse at the plant, and she said to me, "Oh, you've just been bitten by something, and your body's reacting."
Yeah.
Right.
So what was happening is it got some sort of bite or got some sort of fluid in from some insect, and the body's reacted to send all this stuff to that part of the
Yeah.
body
Yeah.
to try and pressurize it to keep it getting into your body, to the rest of your body.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
almost as a pressurization effect to maintain it and deal with it in its
In
locality.
yeah,
Right.
that makes sense. That
Yeah,
yeah.
that does make sense.
And she
Yeah.
said, what'll happen? She said, there's nothing you can take. She said, just let it, it'll ride itself out. It's only a small
Yeah.
bite. So I thought, oh, maybe I'm lucky it was on my hand then, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
But if this is all over your brother-in-law's body,
Yeah.
It means
Well,
there's
it
something
started off
in
with
him.
individual lumps.
are
So
they?
now this is the thing. He had the first vaccination right at the beginning. So we're talking about back in February.
Yeah.
He had the second one not until June.
Yeah.
It was July, he's now saying, that he started to find that every so often he was swelling up, but then it would go back down. So he
Yeah.
didn't think much of it. And he couldn't
Yeah.
quite work. Like some days he'd feel a bit more bloated. Some days he'd realise that his feet were a bit swollen, but it would
Okay.
seem to go. But there came a point a couple of months ago where he started to swell in, like he had a lump on his elbow that was
Yeah.
coming up, but it seemed fluidy. And then he got a lump on his stomach. And then he got one on his ankle. And then bit by bit, these lumps, and they weren't going down. And the lumps have just really accelerated. Now you can't distinguish from one lump to another.
Right.
And
They've
it's
joined
just
up.
completely swollen.
Oh
Kathy,
my God.
is it lumps under his flesh? Is it like just pushing the skin up?
Well, right now you can't tell because you can
Yeah.
see that he's bloated. You can see it's not a man that's overweight. You can see there's
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
because his skin is stretched and some of his skin is starting to like crack.
Oh,
Yeah.
Where he's so swollen, some areas like on his knuckles, you can't identify the knuckles
Yeah.
of his hands, and the skin is so stretched, it's kind of just cracking and flaking.
Oh my God. Have you done the edema test where you press in and it stays white? When you move your finger away, it stays white for ages.
No, and the doctor hasn't done any tests either. He's had 2 FaceTime calls and 1 cancelled hospital appointment, and he's
Right.
going to patiently wait until next Wednesday when he goes back up the hospital.
He needs to be there ASAP by the sounds of
know.
it, Kathy.
I know.
yeah.
But my
Oh
sister
wow.
won't have none of it, and he won't go against her, so he just sits and suffers.
Oh my God. Right.
Okay.
But looking at this blood, because he's since had his booster, and I think he was getting this swelling on and off throughout July
Yeah.
and August, but it was since the booster that he began to swell up and it didn't go away.
Right.
Okay. Is he in pain, Kathy, with it?
Is in a lot of discomfort, as you would imagine,
Yeah.
but he hasn't got any specific pain anywhere.
Is he like going naturally to the toilet? No problems
No,
there,
he
like
can't go to the toilet.
so we can't pass urine.
He can pass urine, but he's constipated because I think he's so swollen inside.
Oh wow.
Actually, I was thinking of asking that question as well, just before you
Yeah.
said it, Sandy. So,
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm just trying to.
No,
Yeah,
it's fine.
yeah.
It's like it was
Okay.
on my mind too, because
Yeah,
normal bodily functions under these situations is an indication, isn't it?
yeah. Well, he's
First
lost
time.
his appetite as well,
Oh bless him.
but his voice has changed.
Yeah. So everything's swelled up inside as well.
His legs are very numb. He feels like he can't control his legs properly. So if he wants to put his foot forward, he has to really think about it.
Think about it. Wow.
He doesn't feel like they're his own anymore.
And what the hospital said? Have they said?
Nothing, because they haven't seen him yet.
Fucking shocking.
That's terrible. Listen, he needs to go.
I know.
He needs
I know.
seen to ASAP.
Yeah.
Dear God.
I
Okay.
know what
And
the
this,
situation is,
he's,
but
he's,
you know,
al-
what can I do?
I
he's
know.
also in the wrong age group as well.
Yeah,
Okay, folks. So just to
Yep.
press on, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
sorry.
yeah,
No,
Sorry,
no,
Chris.
no apologies needed. It's just that we got another donor to go yet, and
Well,
yeah,
so we're at 20 micrometers here down in the bottom there.
Right.
So 20 micrometers that distance across. So this is about 20 micrometers. Can you see now with this shard that's been deposited here or has apparently
mm.
has appeared? You can see these lines inside it.
Underneath it.
Crisscross,
yeah,
like crisscrosses, aren't they?
Yeah, and what it's accentuating there is everything else that's around here. Can you see that? It's like a fibrous structure
yeah,
Mm.
everywhere. See it?
Yeah.
That's
right.
not right. That
Oh,
is
yeah.
not
No,
right.
it's not.
That is
No, we've not
not
seen that, have we?
right. Okay,
Mm. Yeah.
that is not right.
That's a mess.
I've never
Isn't it?
seen that until
Yeah.
now. You know, until this sample of blood, I've never seen
Where's
it.
the platelets, Chris?
Can't see him.
You can't see them, can you? They
Can't
just
make 'em out.
collapse. Just,
Mm.
That's
just
it.
nice.
Nice, isn't it?
More
Holy
crystals.
shit.
Are they the platelets which are all squeezed together here now?
I
Aye.
think it is.
Who
Yeah, they
knows?
are.
Something bursting out there.
I'm thinking we're looking at blood clots here.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
happy. Mm.
I think it's all congealing.
That's what I'm
Isn't it?
saying, Kathy. It's like blood clots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they'll be everywhere. I just keep putting through my head that this is just from a very small sample for somebody's thumb.
Yeah.
yeah,
And you can see here all the fibrous, I call them fibers.
Mm.
I don't know how else to explain them, these fine lines. I mean, if that's 20 micrometers in diameter from there to there,
Yeah.
these they're completely out of focus, so they have to be a lot thinner. You know, if that's say 20 micrometers from there to there,
Yeah.
1 micrometer, you know, you're into the nanometers now there. I don't know. So
It's a mess.
see. And again, I've taken a top picture. You can see there. That's probably part of where the needle will actually come back around and the
Yeah.
action there.
Yeah.
You see the definitive difference in colours. You know, there's the glass plate. There's something. You know, there's the glass plate again. So all this fluid here is very thin, but not
Yeah.
enough to diffuse the light. But here, with the blood involved, it is.
yeah.
So.
Mm.
Take a
So-
close up of that. This borderline bit again.
So that's one sheet of, let's call it glass, and only the bit above the blood is showing through. And it's been cracked again.
And this blue stuff is everywhere inside it, you know.
Mm.
Yeah,
So I tried to get a picture with a lot of it in,
Yeah.
and here more examples. There's a Millennium Falcon there, look. Or somewhere. You
Mm.
can just start seeing
Yeah.
this glass fragment has overlaid the blood structure. It just looks alien. I'm sorry.
Mm.
wow.
Bloody hell.
And here, I think I start messing with the exposure here because I could see that under the microscope, and I had to actually use the eyepiece in the end to make sure it was nothing in the video, and what I was looking at through the microscope lens is actually this. I
Yeah.
saw it with my naked eye, and I compared it to the screen, so I knew what I was
Okay.
looking at was being depicted. And this is a good resolution. It's 3,600 by 2,000 something. You know, the resolution is fantastic. And I start increasing the exposure settings, and you'll see it become more apparent as
Yeah.
it comes up. You see that?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
wow.
So I'm just going to replay that again, just Again,
Mhm.
note the 20 micrometers across there, so we're into the nanometers in width here inside.
Mhm.
And go back again. Yeah, that's another one. Again, it depends. It could be a bit on a bit here. You can still see in and around here all of the fibers involved.
Mhm.
They could say, you could say that, oh, actually it's just the nature of the folds in the fluid as it's dried, which is a good argument, but I wouldn't expect to see it so randomly dispersed internally, like this crisscrossing that you've got. I would expect to see following a sort of contoured outline as such, not not crisscrossing.
Yeah.
Again, just a more, that's 500 micrometers, so yeah, so it's 2.5 times. With more, we're still on donor 1 sample at the moment.
Wow.
Again, with this
Wow.
underneath, who knows? I think I mess with the lighting there, do I? Yeah, I do.
So is that on top and you can see through?
Yeah.
Is that what? Yeah, I'm getting that right. Okay.
Yeah. There's one laid on top of another there.
Yeah, yeah.
It just this almost, this whole structure here just looks alien.
Yeah.
It looks ugly, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Ugly mess.
As if it's been boiled and allowed to dry.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Mm. You could do with putting 2 pictures side by side, this blood and mixed blood, like a similar picture, and see the differences.
Yeah.
And again, you can see just in there, look, I mean, at 20 micrometers from, this length here, if you transfer that over to there, and I've taken a shot, there's 112 by 60 micrometers from there to there. So this distance, it's if you half that, that's 30 micrometers, say, from there to there. Half it again is 15 micrometers. Half it again is 7.5. How many of these can I fit in between there and there? That is not right. That structure isn't natural, is it?
No. No.
It's a scaffolding. It's a framework.
Yeah, yeah. Is it folded as well? Would you say it was folded? That we're looking at it one side, and see on the right, is that the other side?
Oh, I see what you mean.
The underneath, so it's like folded together.
Yeah, it could be.
Do you see what I'm saying?
It's sort of snapped in half and folded in on itself. I can see what you mean.
Because you've got a straight line at the top as if that bit's been bent.
So what shape are they if they're unbroken? And what size are they unbroken?
See down here, you can see the contour lines with the edge. I expect to see that's sort of more natural. But this inside isn't.
No.
So does it have an effect on what's below it then?
Can you give me that book, Sonny?
And this was quite interesting. This thing coming out here.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not really sure if it's following this line up. So I thought, let's have a look at this, see what that is.
Yeah.
I come into it. I'm not really sure if it's coming out or what. But I think, okay, let's take a look. And as you can see, I
Yeah.
take a. It's got a little peaky head on it.
Yeah.
Some depth in it, obviously, because it's coming away from the blood. Go into it again. I can go back. I'm not sure. That looks a bit different to a hair. And the actual look of the blood here looks as if it's in a different type of form.
It does, yeah. Yeah. A little bit more organised there, isn't it? On the rise.
A bit more reptilian.
Well, yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to go back through that again, so you can see it. Yeah. Back again. Yeah.
And this is still donor 1, Chris?
I'm afraid so, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the reason why I included this photograph here is because it's not a million miles away from our blood. You remember the original video we did where my blood was too thick? It doesn't look a million miles away from that until you start taking a closer look. What's this? What's that? What's this? Here. These highlights here. I think I'll pay attention to this one. Let me go forward. Yeah. Something there. Look, you know, that's laying on top, isn't it? Oops,
It is, yeah.
excuse me.
Yeah. See-through.
But I can't really see. There's no internal framework on that. So I think this was obviously deposited afterwards at some point.
Yeah, could be.
It's completely random. And another interesting anomaly here. I'm not sure what that is. But if you cast your mind back to Mick's first blood sample, where it all came away and he had all these P's here, which look natural. This is nowhere near doing the same thing. It's completely messed up.
Yeah.
Completely.
Blimey.
Yeah, I'll take a few. I think we're coming to the end of it now. It's focused on another shard there laying on top.
Yeah.
And that was it. Then we're back to the.
Oh, well done with that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pause it there for 2 minutes.
Right.
Okay, so after a brief interlude, we're going to start on the second donor. And can you? Oh, let me get this out the road. I suppose you've seen that, aren't you? Don't want to get that in the way. No, take that away. So we're going to start on the second donor sample. This is what it looked like on the slide. Took this with my camera phone just to start as a reference. I'm going to pay particular attention towards this part down here at the end, and some up here. The blood's quite thick around this area.
Yeah.
I think that's just like a spot where it was deposited as the needle probably left the sample after mixing. But yeah, it's a good contrast between thick and thin across there. So yeah, we'll just carry on and start now. And can you see that? No, you can't.
No,
So
I can't say anything.
I'm going to bring that across to here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
So we've still got the blue effect that we're looking at here. That's we're probably looking straight through the glass there because it's quite bright for the exposure. You're getting a nice full picture of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this the thick part of the blood?
No, that was mixed samples.
No, this what we're looking at now.
Yes, the thicker part. Yes.
Okay.
Hey, I just caught
a bit slow there. I was a bit slow.
Sorry, I never stop, do I? Any opportunity.
I know.
Oh.
Okay, and
Right, go on.
all these oases again of this blue stuff in this mix. What I didn't see this time was the same effect with the coagulation. I did look, but I thought, well, I'm not going to go lay the point on that because there is a slight difference between the two samples, if I may say, from what I've noticed. But nevertheless, let's just go through what we see. I'm trying to get some sort of correlation between what these blue aces are and anything in, and as you can start seeing here,
Yeah.
even internally to here, I have this internal framework on this blue aspect here. And I think I might just, yes, again, I probably start messing with the exposure again to see the same type of lattice work. And again, we're at 20 micrometers. That distance there, again, I'll repeat just to make sure that distance there, if I were to drag that across here,
yeah,
the 20 micrometers, so you can work in respect of how wide this lattice work is in here. So again, straight away, lessons learned, I can actually start looking at
Wow.
the lattice work underneath, and this is sat on top of this, so we're looking at the lattice work, which we can't really see here because it's out of focus, but nevertheless, this is what we're looking at, which is in here.
Yeah.
Do you think it that mic oh got the word wrong now. Like amplifies what's underneath? Where the colouring is, does it amplify what's below?
I wouldn't say it's amplifying. It's diffusing it out through the. So, I say diffusing. It's actually accentuating what it's looking at. So
that's what I was always saying.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's seeing a clearer picture.
Yeah. It's almost like it's bringing it out. It's like an X-ray, isn't it? So it depends on the wavelength of light to how it's being filtered and where the light cannot penetrate anymore.
And I was also thinking, Chris, about how much of the spectrum we can actually see with the naked eye. And this is actually helping us see what this looks like below. This is like it's like a magnifying glass. I
don't think this has been magnified. I think this is actually as it is. But because you've got a straight line down here, so there must be like a flaw in this sheet or something, because you're not getting the same effect this side, but you are here, luckily for us. And again, I bring it out higher again. You've got more coloration here, so you can start seeing the red of the blood in here.
Yeah.
Some other bits, whatever they are. But this, surely, this could be deeper than what this is. It could be even at an angle. And I try and, I do get a measurement there. So across this, that dimension there is 1.72 micrometers. That is 1.7 millionth of a meter. That's 4.78 millionths of a meter across there. I don't like using the word meter. I mean, I'd rather use. So that is 0.4 of a millimeter. So you try and measure that. You try and look at that with a ruler. And then you try and work out the dimension, the thickness of that line. You're into the nanoscale. Definitely.
So how thick would that plate be then? That blue thing we're looking at.
That's a good question. I can honestly say I've no idea.
Yeah.
But if it was any greater than 10 micrometers, I'd be surprised.
Because I'm looking right now, Chris, at the very bottom of it.
Yeah.
The bottom of it, if you go back to that image again, the larger picture. And if you look at the bottom of it, you can actually see it's been chipped or something.
I'll go to the next one again and bring it up again.
Right.
I mean this one here, yeah?
Aye, down at the bottom of that image, you can see it looks like it's different layer, different depth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like that. Yeah.
And whatever these specs are inside, I've no idea. But So we've pretty much exhausted that aspect, and we're coming on to something else in a minute. I think I do lay. Let's have a look. I think that's a gap, maybe, with the fluid underneath, which is similar type. Again, I try to adjust the exposure settings on this one too. I think we're looking at the plate glass here without fluid underneath. Well, we've seen that with the normal ones where we see that
Yes.
coloration effect
Yeah.
in what we call the lagoons, if we may use that word.
Yeah.
Where we thought something was standing out when it was actually we're looking at the glass with the different colours. Well, this in contrast is completely blue, and I'm using the same tool. Again, you can see there as it's starting to come out. Look. See
Yeah,
these structures. They just don't seem to be uniform either. Which is
No, it sort of gives the impression, you know, something's frosting up, like a piece of glass is slowly frosting up. It's that kind of, those kind of angles, isn't it?
well, even then, but they seem to be linear in all directions, which is making a framework for what to hold what. All over, look.
Building blocks of life.
Yeah.
But life, but not as we know it.
Colours again, the different colours here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, now I don't know what's supposed to be. Is that supposed to be natural? And that's not. Again, a bigger picture to give you the. You can see the strikes of the needle, perhaps. So I'm exploring around, and here I've got different effects. The blood's clumping again. A few anomalies around. I'm exploring and taking a shot that might be worth speaking about. Honing in on this, whatever that is, and this, and this. It just doesn't look right.
No.
That's not all of it at the moment. Oh, I'll take a picture of this one close up.
Yeah.
And this really is the piece de résistance.
Wow.
Yeah. Remember I said to you pay attention to one part.
Yeah.
I think that's contamination down here. Could be something that's just swimming away, trying to hide.
Yeah.
And this up here, you can see it's something coming off it and going back to there. But look at the plumage around here.
Yeah.
I mean, this we've seen plumage, but this plumage seems to be derived and splaying in a pattern which we haven't seen.
Yeah.
And I'll explain that as we go further. And the colours are amazing. Here's the glass. Here's the fluid. It's absolutely jaw-dropping when I saw this. I mean, I was thinking, oh my word, look, here's some glass again that's broken.
Wow.
This plumage here. And all this bit around here, I think if this wasn't allowed to dry, all of this looked to me as if it was going to end up like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way look at this here, the way it's going.
It's very plant-like.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like I just said, this Kathy, life, but not as we know it.
Yeah, we maybe plants are harvesting us.
We've never seen this type before, have we? Where you've got it's emanating from this part here, but bowing out.
Yeah.
And the same here, the same there. It's the same type of flowering effect, although we have this cylindrical one here, circular one here and here, and we've seen that before.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
it's just the colours. It looks viral, doesn't it? The way all
What
this.
thing in the centre, Chris?
Sorry?
That thing in the centre.
Here?
And the thing is,
Yeah.
black. It's like all these leaves coming off the sides of it.
Yeah. I should have actually focused on this part here, but it looks translucent, you know? It's making a connection to this part down here. Whether it was part of that as well and just settled that way. But then it's discoloured this around. I've got to go to the next picture.
Oh wow.
Look at that.
Looks like a fern.
It does.
With a crystal in the middle, and we've seen that
Yeah.
before, haven't we?
What's that in the
Have you
centre, Chris?
Crystal? Or
I thought that. I thought it was just
It's
a
one of those
bit.
pyramid things that we were seeing
Oh, it is.
before, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
See by the other triangle just below the bigger one.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's no arguing with that. And the colours
Wow.
are
Yeah.
so different, aren't they? They're so. Look at them.
So
We had the
vibrant.
we had the blues and the yellow from the normal fluid, but this is
Wow.
lovely yellow,
Person.
brown.
Do you think it looks like a plant?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does, yeah.
Well,
Looks like a fern.
donor 2 will be pleased because donor 2 is a keen gardener.
But
Oh wow.
I mean, this was I'm on about. Look at that. The way it's actually something coming is bellowing, is blowing out this here. You know.
yeah,
Goodness me. The colours. Again, you could make a mural out of this. It'd be quite nice art, wouldn't
you
it?
could. I was going to say how beautiful it looks.
beautiful
It's just
picture.
scary to
That
think
would-
it's in the blood.
Yeah. A nice frame on that. Look lovely.
But that reminds me of, remember when we saw the branches
Aye.
kind of
Yeah.
crystallizing out? If you look straight down the middle there, you
Yeah.
know, that looks just like one of those branches that we saw.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's bloomed the way it wants to in this, and it's taken full effect, and it's got all of the colours, which we didn't get to see in the other one because obviously nothing had been injected into the blood. But
Yeah.
yeah, you can see it though.
Yeah.
It just looks like fern.
Yeah.
And the reason why I said what I said earlier is that all these little bits started to grow here, emanating from all these. Maybe all of these bits had the same capability.
Yes.
So we're seeing a snapshot in time.
Yeah, it's just been stunted in its growth.
Chris, go get back to that a
Yeah.
minute. Chris, go back an image.
Yep.
Right, see right there. See what I would deem the centre of the two loops.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
blue dot. Is that another crystal? Right in the
Yeah.
centre.
Yeah. Good shout, Mick. Yeah. Looks like it.
As if
Yeah.
the whole lot emanated for that blue, that
Yes.
one spot.
Oh yeah.
We've got disconnects between the plumage, left and right. They're going left and right. Then you've got a gap. Then something else there, something else there. But
Yeah.
it's just the focusing, isn't it?
I'm looking at a plant growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
That's what I think this looks like.
So we've seen a few things here. We've seen the lattice work underneath. We've seen the blood here, which is thinner, with this effect growing out of it. What we can't see is a plate of that glass fluid solidified on top here, so we can't actually see the structures inside.
Mhm.
Maybe
Right.
it was
Yeah.
playing on that framework. I don't know. But it just seems as if the way this has grown here, if you look at the way this has fanned out this way,
Yeah,
it's
as
almost as if it's either drawn it in
yeah,
or it's
expelling it.
expelling it out. You can take it
Yeah.
either way. You look at this end.
Mm.
This has started from here.
I wonder if it's got a polarity to it because it almost to me looks like it's drawn in at the top and
Yeah.
zoomed out at the bottom,
Yes,
as if it's got a polarity.
A magnetic quality.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I'm thinking. You know the way it's sort of, and also the curling round either
Yeah.
side reminds you of magnetic fields, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
that's what I was thinking. You said that,
Yeah.
Catherine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking. I'm wondering if it's growing along that particular path and in that pattern because it's growing along the magnetic fields.
Or
Oh yeah.
was there already something in the blood that was activated by the injection?
Well, possibly.
Yeah.
You know, we can only comment on different ideas as they come to us.
Well, that's right. And also we've got to remember is that this is actually external to the body now. That's actually come out
Yeah.
and settled and
Yeah.
created this outside of the body. So we're effectively looking at this at a 2D level. Whereas
Yeah.
if we were to maybe perhaps turn this picture so we look alongside it, we'd have a 3D effect. How would it have grown in a 3D? So by putting this on a glass plate, we've only got a 2D effect.
Of
Yeah.
course.
So would it have been cylindrical?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Probably.
Possibly, yeah. And again, this I showed this because the process was starting here. You have all these bits in there. There's the glass plate. There's the edge of the fluid.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Coloration. What is this coloration? Honestly, what is that?
It's got
Yeah.
to mean something, hasn't it?
There has to be.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And so
Oh
there's something there.
yeah.
I'm not sure I had to focus in on that. Again, you see this blooming effect
Yeah.
along here.
That's a separate plant.
It is.
Yeah. It started off green and bits of blue.
Yeah, I call it Phonicus horribilis.
You better believe it.
Mm.
Oh my word.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just unbelievable.
That's like Christmas decoration.
It is like
It is.
like a wreath
It is.
That's a Christmas decoration.
about the holly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh my word.
And that's just there.
Yep.
Of course it is.
What the hell?
So is this the blood on the outside that Chris we're looking at?
Yes, of course. And if this is something that's activated in this way externally,
Yeah.
that's been exposed to air. So what is happening? Why doesn't this happen inside the body? What is what is the catalyst that's allowing this to happen externally? So what is it? What is the properties of this internal to the body? Because this is a reaction to it being external to the body now.
Okay then, how about this, Chris? What if this could be activated by temperature?
Yeah.
What if people get the jab and nothing really happens until it gets really, really cold? And then this could happen inside their blood.
But the body's core temperature has to drop.
Well, that could happen if it's really cold.
Yeah, I mean, people stay warm, and the body temperature, it only has to drop a couple of degrees, and you're starting to suffer. Between you getting frostbite on the ends of your fingers, and when you are in a cold environment, to maintain the body's natural defences will actually maintain the core of your body to protect the heart to keep the blood pumping, but it'll shut down the extremities of your body to
Yeah.
stop the blood getting too cold.
That was my point, Chris. If you're in the cold conditions without adequate heat, then your body starts to shut down and protect your organs, but your extremities get ignored.
And
So that's when this would activate.
so if you wanted to catch things in the air, you'd have a net or something. But if you look at nature, especially sea creatures, they have these spines and these ferns
Yeah.
which grab all the plankton, and they can catch them in all their little splines and what have you. So it's just going. It's a blocker, isn't it? It's a blocker.
Yeah.
They're the triffids.
Oh,
Terrific.
it's amazing.
And here's some more of the same.
It looks the one right below it.
Crazy.
And this is actually, if you've done a side by side, this is a blood sample as opposed to my blood sample.
You nothing to worry about, Mick.
You're still alive, Mick.
Wow.
That's
This
a shard there.
Well, this can't see something to worry about.
See, I think the reason why I took this picture, one, there's this part here, but two, with the shard of glass over it, I'm getting the different colours, and I'm almost starting to see the colours which I see, these colours here.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see through this here,
Yeah.
right? Whereas the rest of it is sort of browny reddy. But these colours here I'm seeing here. So maybe this whole thing is
It's
covered
covered.
by this.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're seeing it through a filter.
Yeah. It's amazing. You can go through these photographs and have a look at them and go, wow. But when you start discussing it
Yeah.
with other people, you start to rationalise based on what other people are saying also. So it's always good to do this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just sitting there in your own mind, aren't you?
Well,
Yeah.
this is it. Yeah.
And of course, when I look at this, I think of nice sandy shores
Wow.
and deck chairs.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a lovely picture, that. I do like that one.
Deck chairs, of course.
Oh.
Yes. Get me deck
Some
chair
of
out
it,
there. Be
I'm
lovely.
going to say, Chris, some of it looks like artwork.
It's beautiful.
It does look like
I do
artwork.
like that. Yeah.
Honestly. In fact, they're sellable. There you go.
Now, if you said to somebody, "What do you
Yeah.
think that is?"
Yeah.
Think, "Oh, you've been on holiday to the Barrier Reef, have you?"
Yeah.
No, this is someone's blood, mate.
But look at the shape of that main thing in the centre, Chris.
Yeah.
It kind of splays out like legs
Yeah.
or something. It's in three parts that go into the centre
Yeah.
and join up.
And it's also been affected by the colours here as well. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're mingled in, aren't they?
which I mean, I'm starting to think now that maybe the colour, depending on the thickness, with that sort of plate glass effect on it, is how the light's reacting to the depth of the or of the thickness of the material there. It may be. I'm not an expert. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I mean, for that to change its colour, has to be
Yeah.
an effect of the light being, shone on it or through something
Yeah.
to change its colour. It's not changing its colour because that's what it is. It's
No.
a filtered effect, isn't it? Which I think is part of this here, which is on here, which we're actually looking through. Oh, it's hard to say, it really is.
Wow.
When I'm sat there, this small hours, taking this, I just think, oh, that's a good shot. Take that, focus in a bit, move on. Do you know?
I
the
do
next
like
one.
that.
It's.
I do like that one.
I mean, I could have taken thousands of these photos,
Yeah.
Tried to break it up as much with the difference in what I'd seen throughout everything to try as your best guess sample, you know. Otherwise, we'd be here all night.
Yeah.
And here, look,
Wow.
that splaying effect there.
Oh my God.
And that's energy, isn't it? That's energy.
Yeah.
That's what I said from the start, Chris. It's things that are growing.
It's life, isn't it?
Trying to get this image up.
But it looks like plant life.
I
Doesn't
said that earlier, aye.
Yeah.
It is.
Mm.
Mm.
Who knows?
I can't get the image.
Again, so
Oh, wow.
what I was saying before with the coloration, here's a rogue piece of this shard
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
now showing the colours.
It's like something that diffracts,
Yeah,
you know, so it, you know, like glass.
Yeah.
but this is, yeah, maybe this was fluid, and it settled after this had grown into it.
But
Yeah.
it's showing the colours that are further up, even though it's different
Yeah.
colours that it's lying on. The colours it's reflecting are further higher up on the picture.
Yeah.
That is so different from all the other blood.
Thank you. I was just about
Isn't
to
it?
say, isn't it? We just
Yeah.
Please leave this image up, Chris,
I
because
mean,
I'm having a hard time trying to get it to open up.
You know, you say you're not professional, but I bet I could get you a collection of blood samples and you would be able to instantly identify by looking at blood, that one's been vaccinated, that one's not, that one
Yeah.
has, that one hasn't.
Yeah.
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 That's how easy it would be to distinguish between the blood.
And I think I'll be able to tell you now who's had the flu shot and not the vaccine.
Yes.
What
Yes.
we
Oh,
need
yeah.
now, what we
Yeah.
need now is somebody with the flu shot and the vaccine and the booster.
Yeah.
Leave it with me.
The booster, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I
Yeah.
was actually thinking of going and get the shot myself.
No.
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 But
Don't you dare.
We don't take that for the team.
But thankfully, my sister's had both shots, so I'm going to take a sample of her blood, give her an electrifier, and then see the results from that. So by mid-January, I should have some answers.
That would be
excellent.
fantastic.
That would be very interesting. That.
And I'll try and do the same up here with donor too.
And then once that happens, I'm going to triple the price of my electrifiers.
Yes. Yes.
Triple? Oh my God. You've got like 5 billion to sell.
I know. Hey, I liked that video the other day when it said 8 billion people in the world, and even if a company has to make one a second. I mean, the resources that's required for that. Let's put this into perspective. Just for the cardboard, just for the printing, just for the glass, just for the rubber, just for the plastic. The amount of resources that's it's not just making the vials, it's getting all the raw materials in line to be able to put out a finished product.
Yeah.
And that scale is like, you know, I mean, 32 years just to inoculate everybody, but they've had years to collate all this material.
Yeah.
Already.
It is a massive operation.
I would give them 10% with holding a certain amount of stuff for vials, because you could use one vial for many different vaccines. So I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But not the vaccine itself.
No.
No.
Looking at that particular slide, look how many of those little black circles there are dotted about.
Oh yeah.
That's right. We were saying that, you know, that
weren't they put forward quite some time ago as the didn't some doctor or something see a lot of those all clumped together?
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
Was that on the Stu Peters show? That doctor.
I can't remember.
Nice
I remember seeing it before
Yeah.
in that context, but I just can't remember which
Those
person it was.
were, yeah, they had little splines coming off them, didn't they? There was a
They did. They looked a little bit more like cogs in the
Yes.
slide that was shown from some other doctor. But if there were no truth in it at all, that was a very lucky guess, because we can see lots of little black circles,
Yeah.
whatever they are.
Yeah.
Seeds, pods, I don't know.
But can I tell you something, guys?
And they weren't looking at it, Chris. Sorry to butt in, Mick, but they weren't looking at the black dots inside someone's blood after vaccination. They were looking just at the vaccination itself. So that might be why they're not looking quite the same as they were before.
Or why they're separate.
Yeah.
What I would like to say, Chris, before I lose the track here. See, since we started doing this, I look and listen to every expert showing images now with squinted eyes.
Yeah.
Because, and if you consider the amount of things people are finding, for fuck's sake, each doctor's finding something different.
Yeah.
Like there's Kerry Madey found the Hydra. Then just like everything else online, the Hydra it took off for a couple of weeks there.
It did, yeah.
Then somebody found something else.
Yeah.
And then that took off. So there's stuff getting found all the time.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at stuff that we know cannot be cheated on. We know this is just going from me to you, and that's it.
Yeah.
So there's no the chain
Why
of
has
command
no
is
one shown this plant effect?
But what we have, which is more important, is the way that we've done it.
Yeah.
Is we've staged our process and we have correlation.
Yeah.
And that's a big factor here. You know, people that are going to watch this are going to have to take our word for it, but they just have to look at the past videos we've done, how we've interpreted it, and the reasons being. Like the last one we did, that I said, you know, the sample could have been ruined by the temperature. We need to do it a different way. So we discussed it. We went about it to send the plates up to you to do the thing in real time, as I did. Mix it, sample it, then mix it with the free source, and now we have. And the only question I have really from this last experiment is that I do have a yellow film on that, but I explained that away by even comparing the sample on that slide with the coloration with the exposure. If the exposure was set to a position where you couldn't see the difference in colors between the layers, then you could argue that fact. But because I'm seeing a definitive coloration difference between each thinning aspect of the blood across the slide, then I can easily discount that coloration film on the slide, because it's having no effect on the incident lighting that's coming back from the blood.
Yeah.
But in an ideal world, it should be clear glass. Okay. But this, as we can see, is, you know, if the film on the glass had an effect, it would have an effect everywhere.
Everywhere,
yeah. The difference between where there's blood, where there's not, where there's something growing, it's quite obvious it's green. You know, it's grown into this here. I mean, it would be lovely to see this happen in real time.
Scary.
Wow.
So, you know,
but wherever you see one of those plant growths, if you look, you can definitely see a sweeping, like a narrowing, either coming from it out or being drawn up in.
Yeah, along here, look, it's almost as if there's some energy being pulled off to that, or maybe whatever this is, it's been drawn into. You know, it's really, really
strange.
And then here, look, it's just seems to be dissipating out slightly.
Yeah. Wow. It's all over.
That's astonishing.
I know.
I can't, and you know, I keep telling myself that all this has been found in one small blood sample.
Yeah.
Mm.
Holy shit.
I just didn't know when to stop, Mick, really, with this.
I can understand, Chris. I'm the same looking at the sky, mate.
So I know they look like ferns, look like plants, but could they be the crystals and the source has coloured them?
Say that again, Sandy.
Remember originally we watched the crystals grow?
I've seen the crystals grow.
They were white.
Yeah. Yeah, they were
These are
white then.
crystals, but whatever's happened to the blood has changed the colour.
Well, actually, if you think about it, red and green are actually the same. They're just polarized different, aren't they?
Yeah.
When you see red, so you know that's so if you're looking at something that's green, it's because it's absorbed all the red.
Yeah.
If you're looking at something that's red, it's absorbed all the green. So you would ordinarily expect to see red in blood, you're seeing green. So it implies it's switched polarization.
Right.
Right.
And here, this one here that you can see right at the epicenter here, something there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they all grow out from some kind of
some spot. And I think that could be a crystal.
Yeah.
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 Definitely.
I'll just try with the exposure again. It's more.
Wow.
It's definitely plant-like.
When a crystal grows, it acts plant-like, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What we've seen.
Yes. Yes.
If you took this and put it into a 3D, so we're seeing it in 2D, imagine that
Yeah.
in 3D inside your vein, it would just stop all flow, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
That's what
Capture everything.
That's what I'm thinking about, the same with the shards as well, Chris. I mean, they could be flowing everywhere.
That's ridiculous. Look
I'm speechless.
And
at it. More
Yeah,
these
do
black
it.
dots everywhere still. You know?
Yeah, all the little black dots.
I'm actually looking at the size of it, Chris, and I'm thinking of the size of the blood cells. And some blood cells actually squeeze themselves to get through small blood vessels. This thing would block a larger blood vessel.
It would.
And that's where the cold comes in again.
Yeah.
Because as soon as the vessel's blocked, then there's no blood, there's no heat. So I'm thinking there'll be a lot of people will be really, really ill this winter with the cold. If they can control the weather and they make it bitterly cold. I remember a few years ago, it was so cold that it never snowed for weeks and weeks, and the frost never cleared.
It was the test, wasn't it? The beast from the east.
Right.
Yeah.
So they were testing something, weren't they?
Yeah.
Right. So if they can control the temperature on this island, and these people will be affected by the cold, guess what could happen? Again, they're targeting the elderly.
Yeah.
How can doctors, ordinary doctors, I mean, there's been that many people vaccinated now. Anyone taking a blood sample who